Transform your life in 15 minutes. Here's your host, Dia McAdams.
Good morning. I am smiling. Why? Because it's going to be a great day. I'm feeling good. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Today we're going to be talking about questions. And I want you to know the power to change anything in your life begins with a question. And guess what? I'm not even talking about conversing with anyone else. I'm talking about accessing the divine that's within you. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Getting questions from yourself. And why would you want to do this? Well, there's different reasons why. The way I'm talking about, one, first off, remember we're talking about transformation. We're talking about transformation. This is getting to the meat of it. Remember, this is not stuff that's candy for your intellect. We're talking about some deep soul searching here. So when you're getting those questions from yourself, these are things that's going to help you to rediscover who you are. And I talked about that yesterday. It's going to help you expand your awareness. And it's also going to reveal some possibilities for you. All right, so these are the reasons that you want to ask the questions. And again, understand that I know when you're first starting out, it's hard for you to trust yourself, and you may, wonder like, well, how can I do this? But it's like anything else. Over time, you're going to develop the trust in asking the right questions. Now, notice I said the right questions. Well, I shared with you on an earlier broadcast last week, I think it was, about how to get questions from your subconscious mind. Okay, and then I also share with you how I get like yes or no questions from myself, from my body, by listening to my body and asking myself. But these are not the questions I'm talking about. Like, in other words, the questions I'm now talking about is expanding upon that. Good morning. Good morning, Josette. Good to see you. So these questions that I'm talking about right now, let's see what's coming on. Stephanie. Good morning, Stephanie. Thanks you guys for joining me. So the questions that I'm talking about, these are the like deep, profound questions, like the soul searching questions. And so these are not going to be yes or no questions. And guess what? They're not going to be the questions that start with why. Like, why is this happening to me? Because if you're asking why questions, it's going to keep you in a circle. It's not going to invite any possibilities or anything. It's just going to keep you in that conundrum of just why. So the questions I'm talking about are going to start with something like what? Like, for instance, what is it that I'm supposed to learn about this situation? Another one I got is, what am I afraid of? What can I do? What do I have to believe about myself that's true about myself regarding this situation in order for me to feel, and you can say happy or whatever it may be. So these are the questions that I'm sharing with you that to ask yourself, and then you will get the answer always. Now, this is the thing. Understand that when you're looking, or when you're, I should say looking, don't look, when you're allowing the answer, understand that divine's time is not human time. So it's not like these questions are going to come, the answers are going to come immediately, but I guarantee you the answers will come. Now, for me, depends on, what I'm doing, but typically answers come from me, obviously, when I'm meditating. So, I'm an advocate about meditating. So that's number one. When you're meditating, your mind is still. When I say your mind is still, obviously after some practice, but, you remember, it's not about getting rid of those thoughts. It's just that your mind is still, the thoughts are in the background, but the mind, the forefront, the mind is open to receive the answers. And so if I'm doing things like running, I get answers. If I'm showering, if I'm washing dishes, which is on a rare occasion because I don't like washing dishes, but hey, it has to happen. Someone has to do it. Okay, but in other words, you have to allow time for the answer to come. Now, here's something that I share with my clients. This is another tool that I'll share with you as well. And this is what I do. And again, I'm showing you I do this. So for this one actually happened 11/28. So you can actually see I'm not lying. Okay, so 11/28/2018. So what I do is I write a question on a sheet of paper, and then I fold it up and I put it underneath my pillow. Okay, and I put it underneath my pillow because this is the last thing that I'm thinking about when I go to bed. And so this is the question that I'm asking. Like, I'm asking myself. And of course, I'm asking for God's divine help with this question. Sometimes I'll just ask God seriously, the question. But the question that I asked this particular day is, what is the energy surrounding me for the rest of the year? Okay, so remember, this was last year, the end of last year. And as you can see, as the answers unfolded or were revealed to me, I start writing them down. Now, let me share with you how it works. Now, typically for me, I will get answers in dreams. I told you, if I'm meditating and doing different things, and then I write them down so I can actually, because I want to write down and see what's going on. So the first thing that came to my mind this particular day, this particular day, it says focus on one daughter. Okay, so it's like, see how it's right here. It says focus on one daughter. And so when I wrote this down, because again, these are things that come to me, then I'm asking myself, but that doesn't make sense. I was like, what, focus on what? Like, what are we talking about? So I kept asking, like, focus on what? So in other words, when you ask the questions, there's follow-up questions that you need to ask. Don't be afraid to ask the question. So I kept saying, like, focus on what? Focus on what? One, that didn't make sense to me. Focus on. Now, first off, let me share with you that I was actually endeared that God was calling me daughter. I mean, I am his daughter, but when that was the thing that came to my mind. I was like, okay, that's cool. But then I was like, okay, focus on what? So I was saying that. And then of course I'm, quiet, because if I'm agitated like that, then obviously my mind is not still and I can't get the clear answer. And so, again, I don't know the time frame for all of this, but it was definitely within within that day for me. Like I usually get the answers within the day. And then a lot of times immediately, but again, I don't write down when I get it. I just get the sheet of paper whenever answers come that's clarifying what I was asking about. I write it down. So then the next one, I was like, in my mind it's like this, like now if you say a sentence, but then if you say it the same sentence but add a comma, then it gives a different meaning. So then it says, then I thought, well, focus on the one, comma, daughter. And I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense, but focus on the one what? And so then I did it again, and it says, focus on one, daughter. And at this point, I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Because in this particular one, it was then, I understood what it was talking about, because in this particular case, I knew it was talking about what was going on in my life at the time, which I had different projects going on, and there was a lot of stuff going on. It was like, just focus on one thing. That's what we're just saying. Just focus on one thing and concentrate on that. And then there's other things that I wrote down. It says like the sacral energy, and by the way, that has to do with the chakra. And again, this was in line with what I was sharing with you, because if you don't know about your chakra systems, at one broadcast I'll talk about those as well. But this particular chakra energy has to do with your emotions, has to do with creativity. And recall, I was talking about different things that was going on in my life. And so then it was like, so there was other stuff, and I won't go over each of these, but I just want you to understand, like, this is a tool to use. I want you to know that here's another one, like this one right here. I got like front and back, so ask your questions, put them underneath your pillow. Hey, if the tooth fairy can come, why can't questions? And this one is real, okay? So anyway, ask the right questions. So again, make sure these are questions that are, it's going to reveal things that you really want to know. And it could be something simple as, should I take this job? But when you say that, just keep in mind that yes or no questions, they will give you some insight. But if you want a deeper insight to who you are, if you've been listening to me all week, you understand the importance of discovering who you are, so that you can move your way to unconditional love, self-loving yourself. Okay. So ask those hard questions, those questions that you want like deep, profound answers to, and you will always get the answer. But again, just be very, very patient. All right, so hopefully this information. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. I just looked on my paper. I mentioned that the answer will always come. One more main thing I need to mention is this. If you get any type of answer that deals with anger or resentment or hatred, that's not a divine answer, okay? Divine answer will always be loving answer. So an answer based out of love, okay? So it won't be any of those things I mentioned before. And that's how you can know that is a true answer. All right, so again, be patient with yourself. These things takes time, but over time you'll start redeveloping the trust within yourself. All right, so hopefully this was helpful for you. And I know I kind of went over a little bit today, but hey, it's Friday. By the way, happy Friday. So now we're going to move on to broadcast, and this is where I'm going to ask you to participate. So we're going to be doing some yoga. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. This is Transform Yourself in 15 Minutes. This is where we do 5-minute exercises, one each for the mind, the body, and the soul. So generally speaking, for the mind, I usually give you something to become aware of. And then in the body section, we do the yoga. And then for the spirit section or the soul section, I lead you through a guided meditation. And right now, we're moving on to the yoga. All right. So let me go ahead and get the music queued up here. Remember, this is the part of the broadcast that I'm asking you to join me. Sorry, my head is being cut off, but I'm sitting on a stool here. But go ahead and meet me on the mat. This morning, let's go ahead and start in Tadasana at the back of the mat. All right. All right, so in Tadasana, body weight is evenly distributed between the balls of your feet and your heels. Your chest is lifted. Your head is a natural extension of the spine. So you can tell like there's a nice pulley or string coming from the crown of your head, extending all the way up toward the sky. Fingertips are down toward Mother Earth, and as we inhale, we're going to take those arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to swan dive your body forward. Take your time and use your full breath. And just go down whatever feels comfortable to you. And as we inhale, we're going to look up halfway. Now go ahead and flatten out your back, stick your tailbone out toward the back of the room. And as you exhale, we're going to forward fold, Uttanasana, and then we're going to inchworm our way out to the plank. As you continue exhaling, release your knees, then your chest and your chin. As you inhale, take it up or facing dog or cobra. As you exhale, release it down. Inhale again. And exhale. One more time, inhale. This time as you exhale, curl your toes under and take it to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Savasana. Now in this position here, fingers and toes are spread out nice and wide. Your middle fingers are facing forward, thumbs are facing in. Your head's in alignment with your bicep. You're pressing your chest towards your thighs and your knees. And you can notice I'm pedaling my legs. Just do what feels comfortable to you. You can sway your hips side to side. You can massage your spine, okay? So just do what feels comfortable to you. All right, I'm going to inchworm my way back to my toes. I'm going to inhale, take it all the way up. Exhale, dive the body forward. Look up halfway. Flatten out the back. Inchworm back out to the plank. Continue exhaling, release your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, release it down. Again, inhale, take it up. This time I'm looking over the right shoulder. And release it down. Inhale, take it up. Opposite shoulder. And release down. This time as you exhale, curl those toes under. Take it to downward facing dog. Now you notice in the morning, particularly for me because this is in the morning, I like to do some movement just to get my body nice and warmed up. Let's go ahead and release the knees down to the mat. They should be directly underneath your hips. Draw your breath in, your head and chest goes up. Arch your back, tailbone sits out to the back of the room. Exhale to the cat, tuck the tailbone under. Again, cat-cow, I'm just feeling like I want to do some movement today. So just use your breath and just take your time. Exhale into the cat. Relax those shoulders, press the armpits down toward the mat. Inhale. This time as you exhale, I want you to curl those toes under and I want you to take it back to downward facing dog. Now I want you to bring that right foot forward toward the fingertips. I want you to turn that left foot in perpendicular. I want you to take it all the way up. I hope you can see. I'm going to extend the arms here. We're going to go into triangle pose. So in this pose right here, in case you don't see, the heel of my right foot is dissecting the arch of my left foot, and my left foot is at an angle. I'm extending my arms. I'm going to lean as far forward as I can, and then I'm going to take my right hand, down towards my shin, and then the left hand goes up. Now, my glaze is on my thumb. If it's too much strain or stress, look forward or look down. This is a modification. If you can, take it all the way down. Now, if you start to arch, that means you're not doing it correctly, so come up. In this position here, I want you to pretend like there's two glass planes. This is triangle trigonasana. I want you to pretend like there's two glass planes, one in front of you and then one behind you. So if you find that your chest is forward, that means you're out of alignment. If you find that you're leaning back, you're out of alignment. So you want to be in position so that your shoulders are on top of each other and you're sticking your hip out. And again, don't rest rest your hand on your shin, so you're uplifted. And again, if you can go all the way down to the mat, that's great, but again, don't force it. All right, go ahead and take the hand down, take the palm down flat, take that foot back, release your knee, chest, chin, or you can try it on the Dandasana. Inhale, take it up, uncurl those toes, exhale, curl those toes under, and take it back to downward facing dog. Now this is a resting position, so anytime we're in this downward dog, you're actually resting. If this is too much strain and stress on you, feel free to release your knees to take it to tabletop, or you can actually take it all the way down to child's pose. All right, in one swoop, we're going to bring that left foot toward the fingertips. Again, the right foot comes in so that the arch of your left foot, the heel of the left foot is dissecting the arch of your right. And send it all the way up. Exhale, go as far forward as you can, sticking your hip out. Take that left hand down toward the shin or to the mat. Right arm opens up, relax the shoulders. Again, make sure you remember there's two glass planes, one in front of you and one behind you. And again, don't force it, but in this position, as you're exhaling, try to go down just a little further each time until you can actually make it down to the mat. Now, it's helpful if you have a block that can actually assist you, or if you don't have one, then just hang out here. Again, your place is on your thumb, or forward, or down, just depending on what's comfortable to you. Make sure you're breathing. Lift the kneecaps to engage the quadricep. All right, go ahead and bend the knee. Bring the palms down flat. Take it back and release your knee, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, uncurl those toes, and then exhale. Now go ahead and release the knees down to the mat. Uncurl your toes, and let's take it down to child's pose. Just a couple deep breaths here. Now, once you come up, and I want you to dig your toes in so that your heels are facing to the back of the room. And I want you to extend your fingertips and press them down into the mat. So you're still in child's pose. And then slowly walk it up. And then take your legs and cross them over, and then come into a comfortable seated position facing forward. Making sure that you're on your sits bones, not the fleshy part of your bottom. All right, take a nice deep breath. Inhaling, arms up overhead. And exhaling. Release the fingertips down toward the mat. Again, deep breath. Inhale into your nose. And exhaling. One more time, nice deep breath. Bringing in all of that positive energy. I want you to greet the palms together at the very top. Exhale down through the center. And we say, Namaste. All right, thank you for taking the time to practice yoga with me. This brings us to the third and final section of the broadcast. I'm going to lead you through a guided meditation. So I want you to come into a nice, comfortable, seated position. And if you're in a chair, I invite you to take your shoes off and just kind of anchor your feet down into the floor. Good morning, Carol. Thanks for watching. Make sure your back is sit up nice and tall. And to get yourself centered and grounded for this next section, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. I want you to inhale through your nose. And exhaling through your mouth. Again, take a nice deep breath, inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through your mouth. One more time, nice deep breath, inhaling through your nose. This time as you exhale, go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to let your breathing return to its normal rhythm, the natural flow of in and out. Now I want you to imagine that there is a light, a divine light, that's located 3 feet above you, and it's asking for permission to enter your space. I want you to mentally give it permission by saying the word yes. And as you do so, I want you to imagine this divine light entering in the crown of your head, just slowly making its way down through your body, easing and erasing, releasing any stress, any strains, any worries, any anxieties, anything that's no longer serving you. I want you to imagine this light working its way down your neck, down across the shoulders as you relax and ease the tension off your shoulders. It's making its way down your arms to your elbows, and from your elbows all the way out through your fingertips. Now imagine, as you will, the light is coming down the front of your chest and the top part of your back. Again, any tension and stress, go ahead and release it to the light. And if there's any areas that you need the light to hold to, give it time. Now imagine the light working its way down to your middle back, your abdominals, the lower back, and your waist. Now the light's going down your legs to your knees, and from your knees to your ankles, and then all the way out through your toes. Breathe in this light. Now imagine the lights coming out from the bottom of your feet, extending all the way downward through the floor, through Middle Earth, to Mother Earth. Wrapping itself around the middle, the core, and like a trampoline is bouncing its way all the way back up through your feet, through your ankles, your knees, your hips, all the way up, so that you're connected from above and below. Breathe into this space. Now imagine this light is coming out through your heart center and is making a bubble surround you from top to bottom. Now imagine the light extending across the room that you're in, the building that you're in, the city, and the state. Now the light is extending across the country, the continent, and the whole world. Breathe into this new flow of divine connection. Now to bring your awareness back, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling. Inhaling again and exhaling. time, deep breath, inhaling. And this time as you exhale, go ahead and open up your eyes as you release, relax, and return refreshed and calm. You've done something good for yourself today. Thank you for taking the time to meditate with me, and also thank you for taking the time to watch this broadcast of Transform Yourself in 15 Minutes. Remember, until next time, be uniquely you. Goodbye.